Episode 9 will not only introduce a total of 8 new characters, but also bring a return of some of the characters that were introduced in the sequel trilogy, as well as some legacy characters. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one of the biggest things, alright, that really do interest me for this film, which is indeed the last film of this trilogy, is of course what kind of missions could we very well expect to see throughout the plot of this movie between both Poe Dameron, Finn, and Rey. And that was of course one of my complaints about the sequel trilogy, is that we never got to see the actual trio working together in a single Star Wars film in this trilogy to date so far. Well, all of that is changing now in Episode 9. As you all are aware of, over in Jordan, they are filming a major scene for Episode 9. They are actually filming there for a total of 3 months. Now, they've been there for over a month now. A lot has been going on. We've been learning a whole lot more about some of the sequences that they are shooting over there. You know, they're shooting over in Wadi Rum and different areas over in Jordan as well. A lot of things really are happening for this movie, and we really are ahead of schedule when it comes to principal photography, other than some reshoots and some script changes and adjustments here and there. But this is something that truly interests me. Now, apparently filming over in Jordan has been going on for over a month now, but this week was a very important shoot for what's being described as a major sequence to the plot of Episode 9. It's described as a battle between the Resistance and the First Order, as dozens of extras were dressed as stormtroopers in the desert, walking through the village where around 15 tents are set up. This is a sequence that will involve both Finn, Rey, and Poe Dameron teaming up and eventually splitting their ways doing different tasks. One sequence involved a shootout with Oscar and John taking cover behind a wall set piece. Another had Daisy and Oscar communicating in front of a green screen. Rey's costume was described as a blend of gray and black. There were hints of Kylo Ren being part of the scene, as a large set piece that mimicked Kylo Ren's shuttle was involved. Lots of pyrotechnics were used and loud booms were heard from the distance. The rumor is it's confrontation between Poe, Finn, Rey against Kylo Ren and his forces invading this planet, which is likely to be Jakku. And that brings up a huge discussion right now. Are we going back to Jakku? Now, we can say that it would definitely fit in what John Boyega's Finn was saying in The Force Awakens. Why does everybody want to go back to Jakku, right? And I think that there is more to the story there. I think that Jakku isn't necessarily a place, quote-unquote, as nowhere. I think that there is something truly there that is in need by the Resistance. I think that the Resistance is looking for something over there, as well as the First Order, that eventually brings them together, fighting against each other for something on that planet. Now, we do know that Emperor Palpatine was searching for something over in Jakku. We're not quite sure. And we do know that Rey's origins actually resides on that planet. So if we are back on Jakku, which, by the way, I want to go over the tents here. Now, I don't know if you guys actually saw the tents, the leaked photographs a couple of weeks ago. In case you missed it, search it up, or I will try to remember to link it below in the description. The tents that were used for this sequence over in Jordan are nearly the same tents that you do see in the very beginning of The Force Awakens, when we actually enter Jakku during the nighttime. Almost the same exact tents, which really does lead me to believe that this is indeed Jakku. Now, the other thing here is this. Now, there's a lot of talk about Kylo Ren being involved in this sequence, mainly because one of the big set pieces was a set piece that actually did mimic that of Kylo Ren's shuttle. Now, if Kylo Ren's shuttle is present on this planet, which, like I say, it could be Jakku, Jedha, Tatooine, or a new planet entirely, why would he really be there? Well, we can assume that he's there for Rey, right? We do know that he wants Rey, he wants to get rid of her. At least that's what he tells Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. You know, when I destroy you and her and all of it. And I think that there's more to the story. We do know that they still have that Force bond. Very interesting thought now. They still have that Force bond power at the very end of Jedi, where you do see Kylo Ren inside of that crate base. He sees her boarding the Millennium Falcon, and she sees him inside of that base on his knees. So that's when it cuts. Going into episode 9, perhaps there is a force bond sequence between both Kylo and Rey, and he is able to get a visual as to where she is, and maybe Kylo knows the environment of Jakku very, very well, and that leads him over to Rey. Now, the good news is that this would serve as a scene where both Rey, Finn, and of course, Poe Dameron would actually go up against Kylo Ren and his army of the First Order. Now, not only that, alright, the thing that also raises my interest here, that really intrigues me, is how this is considered a major sequence. Again, they're shooting here for a total of 3 months. That is a huge part of the plot. To put it easier, this is at least going to take up, I would say, about a quarter of the film. A good quarter of the overall movie. So if this is Jakku, it's going to be a very big part of the plot of Star Wars Episode 9. Now, the other sequence of both Finn and Oscar Isaac's character Poe Dameron taking cover behind a wall set tells us that they are working together. These two characters are working together, and Daisy Ridley and Oscar Isaac had scenes in front of a green screen communicating, not necessarily defending themselves against, other extras playing stormtroopers, but communicating. So we do know that there are going to be scenes between both Rey and Poe Dameron. And aside from all of this, like I say, the rumor is that these 3 characters, Rey, Poe, and Finn, go up against Kylo Ren and his forces on this desert world. And to me, this is sounding great. I don't know about you guys, but to me, this is sounding pretty cool. We have never seen these 3 characters work together as of yet. And I feel like that was one of the big problems for the sequel trilogy in my eyes. Because if you look at the original trilogy, from the very start, you already have Luke working with Han, and then they meet up with Leia, and then they're already working together in the first movie, and then in the second, and even in the third film. So, with the sequels, we never got these 3 characters together in The Force Awakens and in The Last Jedi. Only briefly, very, very briefly, when they were on board of the Millennium Falcon at the end of Jedi, and that was it. So let me know what you guys have to say about this major sequence for Episode 9, where apparently our 3 characters go up against Kylo and his forces. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.